welcome to Black Crow Gaming, and we're back. I hope you didn't hear what we were just talking about, but maybe we'll get into this in a bit. As you can see, folks, I'm back. I'm back from the dead. No, I'm not dead. I was never dead. But I needed a wee breaky poo, and I am being joined tonight by Toby and Sam, who have been looking after it for me whilst I've been having my wee breaky poo. Give us a wave, lads. Come on.
Ew.
I feel like one of those.
Have you been watching Team America again, Toby?
No, but we were talking about that at work and like how you definitely couldn't get away with it again these days.
No, you certainly couldn't. And on that, if you like our content and you like what we do, please hit those magical YouTube buttons. I would need you to hit the thumbs up, people. And if you like to subscribe, do the subscribe. And I promise you, if you hit that bell, not your own bell, the bell notification.
I mean, you can do both.
Exactly. We
You'll
are.
know when we're going live. You'll know when we're here.
We have two hands for a reason.
So if you are currently joined in with us from the beginning, please just, say hey in the chat for us. Sam and Toby will be looking out for that. Excuse my cough, looking out for that. Although Toby won't be because he threw his phone away, but Sam will be.
I've got it on the screen.
And he'll be responding in the chat. So please chat away. We also need to talk about our magical sponsors. We are sponsored by Glasshammer Gaming and Terrain Forge. And if you want a cheeky 5% off your Warhammer, just go to Glasshammer, type in Black Crow, and you'll get 5% off. They already offer 15 to 20%. Cheeky 5% off. And that also goes on our events. And they have some events coming up, folks. They've got 2 super majors, one in April and one sometime in the summer. July.
June.
It is July, isn't it?
June.
No, it's
June.
June.
Oh, it's June.
End of
June.
I'm so sorry, Manny. I'm so sorry.
We're going to lose our sponsorship now.
No, that's it. I'll get cancelled in 30 seconds, Arron edition. Anyway, Toby.
He's back for 2 seconds and already cancelled. Brilliant.
As I am back, and I wanted to go back to the old silliness that we used to do. And so I thought I would add a little bit for you.
Oh, God, what have you done? Oh, excellent.
Hello,
I feel like that's... Yeah, I love that. I mean, I am always the passenger princess, which is something else that we're restarting this week because you're the driver and I'm going to be the princess in the car.
You are
on the way down to Nottingham.
And when aren't you the princess in the car?
I'm always the princess in the car, but it also lets me have a little sleep, and I feel like that's always very beneficial because no one likes a cranky, sleepy Toby. So
you guys, everyone. We're going to Nottingham this weekend for the Nottingham GT, where it's about 400 players strong. Unfortunately, Sam can't join us, which is sad. So everybody, give us a sad face. Come on, Sam, sad face, epic sad face. Camera's over there, not over here. I'm looking at 2 different cameras, folks. I'm so sorry. Anyway, what are we here for tonight? We are here to do a tier review, and I love a good tier review. I love doing nonsense. I know that Sam's going to get annoyed with me before the end of the night.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
I'm going to drive him absolutely mental. How do you feel about that, Sam?
I'm excited to do this again, where we do a tier list where we have basically no information on loads of meta changes. Last time it was Prior Nexus. I'm sure we got everything wrong. I've purposefully not checked what we said about that, but I'm excited to give it another shot and see if we get everything wrong again.
do you remember when we said that Dark Angels were going to be kind of shit, and then they were like a 75% win percentage?
Did we say that?
Yeah. Yeah, we said they're going to be all right. They've just got some buffs.
I went to Warhammer and beat 2 Dark Angels, so straight after that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they weren't all that crap.
I mean, Dark Angels are still kind of shit because it seems to be filled with a population that you can't teach to play good Warhammer, Toby.
I don't, they do say that those that can't do teach. So clearly it's just because I can't teach. It means I can hopefully do.
And can everybody please, in the chat, I'd love you just to all give a round of applause to Toby. He's finally starting to grow a tash.
Get some facial hair in there. Big left field from talking about Dark Angels to talking about facial hair.
No, the Lion's got a big sexy beard, so that's what.
He does.
A big beard. He's got like a. He's actually got a similar.
Good beard. No, it's not similar. Toby.
It's very similar. It's exactly like this. This is identical to what the Lion has. I don't think you've realised.
Not so sure.
So you can't see it right now.
Before we get
into the lighting.
Have I ever told you about how I feel like the Lion has dementia?
Yes, you have. Stop saying that.
I mean,
God, it's
demigod,
worse.
dementia.
Magnus
I
doing
don't know.
nothing wrong.
So obviously the lion came out
No.
of the warp, and he didn't know where he'd been for years. If that isn't dementia, what is?
I mean,
No.
it sounds like a fugue state, doesn't it? Like, I mean, also he's like, isn't he famous for keeping secrets? Probably so, even from himself. Like that's that's his own brand of dementia. He's keeping secrets from his own mind.
What? So instead of Tesco's finest, it's Lion's dementia.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been telling everyone he's been getting Tesco finest for years, but he's actually been going for the blue line stuff, you know, the red ribbon style foods, the ones that have been out of date for like 6 weeks and are reduced.
Fucking yellow label halfway in the bin.
He looked at that sushi and thought, I think it's still good enough to eat.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Shits himself 3 seconds later. And
that
that is another
between
reason
friends?
that me and the Lion... Exactly. And that's another reason that me and the Lion are really similar, because we both always have the shits. IBS besties.
So, on that note,
So if you've been at a big tournament with me and the toilet then suddenly stinks, hi.
If there's one thing
God's
Black Bear are
sake.
good at, folks, it's toilet humour. See, I told you Sam would get annoyed. So,
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it was going to be about the tier list, not before we even get to it.
Well, yeah, but like we've got to talk about the tier list of UKTC toilets. I thought that's why we were here.
Oh,
Because
okay,
like that
we can
one
do
in
that.
Hemel Hempstead, my goodness, I walked in there and honestly, I thought
Someone on
Nurgle
the
had
floor.
been birthed.
it came out and was like, Daddy, where are you?
Literally, like there was Nurglings jumping everywhere. Honestly, halfway through, I was having a wee, trying to hold my breath. Someone walked in, went fucking hell, and just walked out. it was that bad. I don't know what that person had eaten or done, but Christ, it was horrendous.
So do you know what I love about chat right now? So chat are sat there having a serious conversation about who they think they're going to be in the tiers. So let's just do a shout out to chat. So we've got Ryan in the chat tonight. Say hey Toby to Ryan.
Hey Ryan.
Hey, Toby.
Thank you.
You know who else? You know who else you can find in toilet floors, Ryan?
Yeah, as I say, I tried to slip that joke in earlier, but you.
I mean, we won't go there. We won't go there. I mean, what's a stone?
Well,
between
actually,
friends?
me and Toby can definitely go there.
There
right
being
to go
Coventry
there.
Hospital.
So I also want to say hello to Slam Sector. He's come in as a Dark Angels player. I can confirm that I absolutely cannot be taught to properly play Warhammer 40k. And if you have been following Toby's Dark Angels videos, that'll be why.
Yes, that's what I'm actually doing. I'm just sabotaging every Dark Angels player so that I
mean,
get
that's
top
how you
player in the
avoid
UK.
nerf. That's how you avoid nerf. You tell
Like,
everyone
guys,
to pick the
yeah.
bad stuff.
Play Stormlance. It's great. It's great. No, fucking sucks.
So
Play
let's-
Stormlance. Like, to be fair, the next video is on Librarius, and that genuinely does suck. So.
Wow.
More and more people are logging in. We've got the Small Gamer. He's saying hello. Duda Bruce. He's chilling in the chat for us. He's I just want to say a big shout out to Duda Bruce. He is doing amazing work. He is our new social media manager. If you guys want to reach out to him on Facebook, please feel free to. He is incredible at what he does, and much love to him. Evening, Ben. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, as we've been talking about Dark Angels, and I'm going to do you know what, Sam? I'm going to do you a treat. I'm going to leave World Eaters till last. We are.
They're always last. It's always last. Like even when I'm in the video, they're last. So
You were second to last, sharp.
because I made a point of it.
He did. He tried so hard in the email.
Literally got tears.
I
influenced
almost
Games
sent the
Workshop.
super chat. that was this close.
Could you imagine? I imagine Games Workshop gets so many salty emails, and they're just like, "Who's this Sam guy? The world is salty."
Don't worry, my name doesn't go in them. I have a botnet that does it, so it's fine.
botnethate.com. Anyway, we are going to start with Dark Angels, baby. Let's get started. And I'm not going to let Toby pick.
I mean, Toby, we should hear Toby's argument, and then we'll pick afterwards. So,
Okay.
Toby, where do you think Dark Angels should be in the tier list?
So how are we doing this? Because I can't actually see the tier list. Are we doing
Yeah, I was gonna
ABC?
say, Aaron, you might want to swap to the tier list screen
Are we ready?
for us.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Crack on.
Everybody, are we all ready for the tier list? Give us some love in the chat. You ready for the tier list? I'm ready. Here we go, baby. Here
Brian
it
has
is.
the saltiest tears. They're my favourite.
We'll
So
listen to
yeah,
Toby's argument and disagree with it and make them beat it.
Dark.
I mean,
Sorry,
Ryan,
how
you're
kind
spoiling
is
the
that?
fun. Like just because you've seen the script doesn't mean that you have to get ahead of us.
So we're doing S A B D. C?
You missed out the C there,
Oh,
mate.
sorry,
Yeah,
I missed out
the
C.
standard
C.
alphabet with S at the top.
Right. Okay. Standard alphabet. Well, I don't know
As
that.
some would
so...
call it Sapta.
Suckter. Okay. So welcome to my Suckter.
Oh God.
Classic
Suckter
Dark
your mum. Classic
Okay.
Dark Angels. Yeah, we've all read the poem.
So we go
yeah.
B
So
tier.
yeah, I think that's probably accurate. So I mean, I think Deathwing Knights are still really good.
Did their points
I think-
change, or are they still the same?
No, they're still 250. So and like that
Yeah, that's
that
still
feels
really
like
good.
enough. Lion's Blade is fine. I think we will see an absence of the players that like to sort of, I hate the term meta chase because like it feels a bit derogatory. And I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but like players that have a Space Marine army that might have played Dark Angels traditionally may jump across and play Blood Angels but not Blood Angels or Ultramarines because of how powerful Space Marines are. But I think, Deathwing Knights definitely swing it. The fact that Lion's gone up to 315, I'm a bit gutted because he needs to stay at about 285 points or he needs to get more survivable to be worth it.
A free up invulnerable save's not survivable enough for you, do you?
This is the crazy thing. Like honestly,
You roll
I said
twos.
this. Oh yeah. This is the thing. I just roll twos the whole time. But this is I had this in a video where someone was like, "You've just said a 3-up invuln and lone op is not survivable. How does that work?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because he is basically just a rhino. Like he does have those abilities, but he's T9 and 10 wounds." And that's not very difficult to take down. Sure, yeah.
I beg to differ. Have you ever spent a night with a rhino?
I mean, I've several times. If you watch the Ace Ventura movie, when he climbs out that rhino, that's actually just my life. And like, great movie, by the way. Only gets horrendously transphobic towards the end. So like, great. Actually, that was the first one. Wait, that was Pet Detective.
Okay, right.
Back on track, Toby.
We're back on track. So, Dark
Thanks.
Angels, we're still thinking
The
big.
Lion's sweep got much better, but that
It
didn't
did.
really matter.
But it's
But and his
not.
points
Yeah,
went up. So I think the Lion lost, especially since all of the benefits for Space Marines go with you not taking things like the Lion and them.
Yeah.
You no longer can just tag as on to a good Space Marine list and make it better. And that's, I think, a really good change in my opinion, because we just don't get like these random lists with just Azrael's tagged on. If you want to play Dark Angels, you'll play bloody Dark Angels. But yeah, I think that's I think B is probably a safe bet to put them. We might jiggle things around later, obviously, as we put other things in other places and we make comparisons. But I think Dark Angels and B is a good starting point, as much as I don't want to agree with Toby.
Yeah, no, I think they're going to be solid. They're not going to be world breaking. I think one thing I would say that might end up pushing them up is I think they're going to be good in Touchwood. They're going to be good into the upcoming meta. It depends a little bit on the prevalence of the Silent King, I think, and how prevalent those Necrons are. Because Silent King Necrons is not a very good matchup for Dark Angels, but without the Silent King, it's usually a consistently reasonable matchup. So yeah, no, I think top of B tier and potentially how the meta shakes up, they might slip into A tier.
Excellent. So the reason I got Dark Angels out of the way for us first, folks, is because I knew Toby would go on to a real long tangent about it and would be here for a while. Love you, Toby. Wow.
It's not like we asked for it, but sure.
Chat has spoken, guys. Chat has spoken. And
where are we going next?
We've
then?
got Admech and GSC have been requested as the two next. Which one would you like to go for first, Sam?
Let's go with Admech because it's just at the front of the queue, right?
Okay.
So Admech are interesting because I think Admech are quite were quite like good before. I think they're a very very niche army, but I think they had a lot of potential, and I really like the new detachment that got completely outshined by Star Shatter being leaked on the same day. But I think that new detachment's quite I think it'd be quite fun for players, and I think it will bring quite a competitive edge to them, because it just makes anything that you could take good. So I'm sure there's going to be some, with this faction specialists that play the Admech, they're going to find some interesting thing. I still don't think we're going to see a high player base as well, which means we've got that skill level thing. So I feel like it should sit in A. I don't think it's got anything crazy. I think it's just going to be consistently good. We're going to see a lot of 3-2s and 4-1s.
Yeah, agreed.
Fair enough.
And the occasional 5-0.
So does Johnny enter the tournament? Yeah, that's probably a 5-0.
Yeah, there we are. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Johnny or Malik. There we go.
Potentially quite a good meta that we're going into, and time for Admech. I think they will be quite strong, just rare.
One thing I would say though is I feel like their Space Marine matchup isn't the best. So I think that might go against them a little bit.
We'll see. We've got LVO knots coming up, so that's going to
be. This is the advantage of doing things before we get the data. We have no fucking clue what's going to happen.
Exactly, we are missing in the wind.
In the next 2 weeks, we're going to get a crazy amount of games played into the biggest tournaments of the year, and it's going to be really awesome to see what happens with the meta, especially leading up to the biggest team tournament of the year. So it's like a really exciting time to be playing Warhammer and just being interested in what's happening. So yeah, a lot we're going to say is going to be a load of bullshit, but we might be right.
Is Coventry the biggest?
I think it is actually the biggest team tournament in the world. I can't think of one that.
So it is confirmed to be the biggest team tournament in the world. But let's stay on track, gents. So the next one we've got is GSC.
Gene Stealers.
So I'm going to take this one because it's my turn. We gave Toby his little. So GSC is a weird one because I feel like they're one that is really pilot dependent. You get the right pilot, like Innes showed, it was really good. But also Innes Wilson, if you don't know who he is, he did the Art of War podcast. He was doing really well with Gene Stealers, but he has stepped away from them.
Stat check.
It is a stat check.
No, he is stat check, as in he's one of the main people.
Yeah. No, I know. No, sorry, I take it back. No, so he is on stat check, but he did the Art of War podcast to talk about Gene Stealers.
Right.
Because he was doing really well at tournaments with them. He was taking this list that wasn't really known at the time, doing really well. And then obviously we've had Data Slay and everything like that. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think they're probably going to be either in C or B. And the reason I think that is because one or two players isn't enough to drag them up. They're just not really seen that often. How do you guys feel about it?
I think the problem is they've had a change from randomness to consistency, and I don't know what the rest of the changes around them is, how it's going to affect them. But I think I will be very surprised if they're not either right near the top or right near the bottom. I'm not sure which way that goes.
So we're gonna be really passive here, and we're just gonna put them in B and say right in the middle, because basically we don't know.
I reckon that they're going to be C tier. Although I will caveat that with I haven't checked what Ben Jones is playing, and I think, yeah, I mean, I think Ben Jones is a really good example of someone that can read a meta very, very well. So when he switched on to Gene Stealers, it was like, cool, okay, this is going to be an S tier army.
And he literally crushed with them.
Yeah, he did. And I think we saw that. Innes at LGT obviously did extremely successfully with them when no one else was doing very well with them. That was an interesting LGT because if someone had told you that Veterans of the Long War were going to win LGT, you would have probably gone, yeah, sure thing, mate.
Until you realise it was Liam, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, pilot, but I think.
Remember here, we've got to stick about what the overall we think it is as a faction, and not based on one or two players' results.
Yeah,
but
so
the thing is, with
this is
GSC, there is only 1 or 2 players.
this is it, right? It's like is Danny Porter playing them? Is Ben Jones playing them?
Innes
And
playing them.
is Innes
Tom
playing?
Lauman playing them. Like these are the
Yeah,
players that have
actually,
been playing them recently. I think
I s-
Tom's going to stick with them. I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't.
I did
But
see on his Instagram he was saying it feels like they're still good. So yeah, no, I mean Tom is definitely the guy to ask on that one. I'll be interested to see if he's playing them this weekend over the Drukhari. I feel like he
Ben
will come on
isn't
to Drukhari
playing this weekend.
Okay.
It looks like.
But yeah, I feel like oh yeah, of
Uh,
course they are. But yeah, I feel like GSC is probably going to be C tier overall. But
Yeah.
I'd like to be wrong on that because I do like seeing GSC. They're a cool army. No, of course.
You've been
I
quite
know
harsh
you
to
don't.
me recently.
All right, so we'll go because we haven't got anything in C tier. Let's put them in C tier. I'm also going to do a quick one. There we go.
That's fine. Yeah, we're good with that.
I can't see what that is. Sorry, what
That
is
is
Imperial
Agents.
Agents.
Oh
I've
yeah,
gone
cool.
Straight
Moving on.
into D tier. So
Yeah.
the next one, Toby. Let's have a look. What would you like to go for?
Has chat suggested any?
We haven't got any currently in chat.
If anyone shouts out in the next 5 seconds what they want.
I'll give them a few seconds because of the delay, but then I'll shout something out for you.
Nothing's come through. Right, pick one, Toby.
Let's go.
Oh, wait. Orks.
Orks.
Orks, the first one that came in. Then we got Guard, and then we got Nids.
So
Orks. Okay.
I think Orks are going to be well good.
The War is nice.
So I'm putting them. Yeah, I think they might end up in that A tier because I think they're going to be good into the meta. They've got they've just got a massive buff from those Breaker boys, and I think that was quite a slept on.
Yeah, I mean, it snuck in as well. I feel like it was barely mentioned. Like
it was, yeah.
They are tasty. That's a tasty little unit, and they're dirt cheap as well.
Yeah, so they're cheap. They're 3 damage, and they've got the same ability as Deathwing Knights in terms of that anti-vehicle, anti-monster. So I think they're just solid. I think the fact you don't have to telegraph when you're going to war is quite impactful.
It's a game changer. It's what Orks have been calling for since the start of the edition, basically.
Yeah, since the change.
It's just the right thing. I mean, it's the way it should be. It makes it really annoying because you can't just play around it the way you used to. But it's you can't really fault it. I think they should be in A.
A's good. I think we can stick to A. I think that's a good shout. The chat has actually given us a nice list of what we're going to go through next. So next one was from Slam Sector, and that is for Guard. So if anybody watched when me and Toby did guess the win rate, I very ballsy put Guard right at the tippy toppy of the table.
Okay.
I still think they're going to be super good.
So hot take, or maybe not that hot take. I put them in S tier. I think they're going to be there for some reason. I just like Guard. I mean, I don't think their win rate will be because Guard is famous for not doing that. But I think you will see Naz on Guard winning tournaments. You'll see other players on Guard doing very well. Like I don't think Guard are necessarily going to be the top army, but I do think they're going to be one of the top armies.
And the reason I think one of the main reasons, from my point of view, they're going to do so well is because we're going into a vehicle meta. We're going into a heavy vehicle meta. Star Shatter, let's just have a look at Knots, for example. So Knots is coming 27 Star Shatter players, something crazy like
25.
That. 25. Yeah. 11 Custodian Dreadnought players.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not going. That's too many.
That already is a huge amount. It's a huge amount of vehicles. So I do think that they're just going to have a really good place in S tier. I think they're going to do really well.
I would be surprised if we don't see Guard on the top tables often.
Yeah, I think we will see Guard. We won't see many Guard players in the middle of the pack. I think they're either going to be at the top tables or they're going to be at the bottom because you do get that major disparity in terms of Guard being a really fun faction. And I think their win rate will get dragged down by the fact that the Krieg are going to come out as well. and people are going to want
anything could change with their codex. To be fair, as well, like if
Well,
the codex
yeah.
comes, and completely changes all their rules, then who knows what will happen. But I think the current guard, I really like the new detachment. I think it's got some legs.
It does,
And they've just got so much utility in the army. I've seen a lot of people, guard players, like already complaining about like Solar taking like a double nerf, and it's like, well, he can still do everything that he was doing before, pretty much. It's just, and he's still really good for his points.
Yeah, that was the correct decision. Let's be really brutally honest.
He's still going to be in every single guard list. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm very excited for what guard can do, because I think then they are S tier probably, but I think they have been reined in enough that it's not going to be unpleasant to play against them, because it was bordering on.
It was awful for especially pre the Aquilon nerf. Like for some armies just didn't have play into guard, which was
I played 2 tournaments where Aquilons were legal. Where Aquilons were as good as they were before the 3-inch deep strike went. And I played against 60 over the course of 3 games. 70. It ended up being 70 over the course of those games. And in terms of interactive and fun gameplay, it just wasn't. So I'm glad that has changed. But I do think guard still will be. They'll be good. They're not going to be as obnoxious, but they will still be up there.
So we're gonna sit there. We're gonna put guard at the S tier. So we're gonna move you guys along. We're gonna go. The next one is Tyranids from Paul Evans. He's asked for us to rank Tyranids.
I suck, Paul. That's terrible. Screw you.
I think we put him in C.
See, I was going to be generous and put him in B, but I don't.
I thought B as well. I'll be honest.
They didn't really benefit massively, though, did they? Let's be honest. And I think the meta is going to be hostile to him, Tobes.
I was going to say, what are they? Big things that can't kill big things?
No, they can kill big things now, and I think
only.
Well, this is the thing. I think we're going to see triple Tyrannifex lists, and I think we're going to see Maliceptors everywhere. But they do have a lot in terms of good mission play into the upcoming meta, and I think they between those 2 units, like Tyrannifexes, I think are extremely powerful, and also we are going to see a lot of heavy infantry, and Exocrines do just eat heavy infantry for breakfast.
Well, I think Slam Sector in chat has made a really good point. We are forgetting 72 Tyranid warriors.
D.
How could we possibly forget?
I mean, I want someone to put that on the table, especially I feel like it is a teams list. There could be something there, but
Davey's going to do it at some point.
You know what, Sam? Because you said that, I'm going to put it up to B tier just for the sheer balls of you, mate.
I do genuinely think there's going to be play. I'll be interested to see what players like Greg Chamberlain fall on. Like, does he jump on Votan? Because I do think they're going to be good. But if he sticks with the Nids, and another one, Tom Lohman again. Oh no, was it Tom? No, who am I thinking?
Let's just remember our viewer base may not know who these people are in the UK. So at this moment in time, we're saying names. These names are players who have done very well in the UK meta scene, people. So
they're some of the top ranked in the UKTC. If you jump on the UKTC rankings, you see their names very quickly. I mean, Greg is top at the moment, I think, and they will be on the international stage pretty damn swiftly if they're not already. So seeing players like that, seeing what faction they're going to be on, I think is a good early call on what the meta looks like.
Slam has just confirmed in the chat for us. He says, "I can confirm I am a filthy American."
we welcome you.
Welcome. Thank you, Slam, for watching. We really appreciate you for doing that. And we're going to go on to Black Templars next. Now, one of our very own Black Road players, Corbin, lives and dies by his Black Templars when he's not messing around with Thousand Suns.
Boo!
Look, you know what? Black Templars, they've always been a weird one for me because I don't ever really feel like they're ever going to bounce into A tier. Correct me if I'm wrong. Other than when we did like the 100
The Ironstorm one. Or the 100 Crusaders,
the
yeah.
100 Crusaders.
100 was, for a very brief moment, really, really good, and
They
then got
were.
nerfed really, really hard.
I can't. So if I was a Black Templars player, unless I was a die-hard Black Templars player, I don't see why I wouldn't just play Codex compliant Marines right now.
This is the thing: is Black Templars at the moment feel like the closest to the compliant, which is the most feels bad. Like we're talking, it's just like it's not different enough to to be worth losing that +1 to wound.
If you compare, so Sword Bros versus, I mean, I guess you could compare them to ICCs, but like, or Deathwing Knights.
That's the same issues then. But
yeah, and it's like, I don't think they compare overly favorably. And I think there will be some really cool Black Templars. And there might be MSU like standard Marines in Righteous Crusaders, which just take advantage of the fact that they're more survivable. Because you can still take Tannhauser's Bones, which 5-up feel no pain. So like,
yeah,
I think that could actually.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably the best way of running Black Templars at the moment. Maybe if you really want to run the Black Templar detachment.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like Hellwrecked and stuff like that like bring enough to the table compared to what you lose. I think I don't think it's bad if you want to run it in a sense. It's just it's like an opportunity loss, right? So I think you won't see that many top players sticking with Black Templars if they were on them before. I think you're just going to have the diehards that really want to play it, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean they're going to be doing well at tournaments. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I do still love
fair
them.
Point. I think just kind of, it's going to be, you're going to get the odd Black Templar player doing well with them, right? And I don't think they're necessarily going to be playing Black Templars. They're just going to have it down that they are a Black Templar player. But I don't think we're going to necessarily see that. I just want to quickly go back to chat, guys, because I do want to try and keep our interaction up chat really high. So I'm just going to read out some of the messages. Kylo has said, hey, what did I miss? Oh, Arron needs a haircut.
Okay.
Dude Bruce has then gone in with a let's get a GoFundMe page ready for Aaron's haircut.
Oh dear! Oh no! Starting this. We don't have the ability to super chat yet, but we can set up something. I'm sure.
So I just want to get started and say yes, I agree. I need a haircut. Thank you very much for acknowledging that, Kylo. And if you would like to send me some money for that, my PayPal is arrondrew@hotmail.com.
Don't say your email on a YouTube stream.
I don't mind.
Right.
You can have as much access to it as you want.
Oh no. Okay.
I have many, as long as it wasn't. Could you imagine if it was my NHS one?
Yeah. Well, actually, do you want to say that one nice and loud right now? And
anyway,
let's move on to another chat.
Toby can suck it.
So Robert Hicks says so I messed up by choosing to get into the game and choosing Black Templars. Lol. To be honest, it's not a bad first army to get into. It does a bit of everything, so it's a good first sort of army to start with. And by the time you blink, the meta is going to have shifted, and something else will be good or something else will be bad. Like I wouldn't focus on picking your first army based on what's good in the meta at this moment. It changes so quickly.
The lore of Black Templars is so much fun that you're more likely to jump in on them for that reason, or for the aesthetics and things like that. And if you're a new player looking at this kind of thing, then sod what's going on in the meta. You're let's speak really realistically here. If you are a complete beginner, you are still developing those core skills. You don't need to be thinking what's going on the top tables, because that's people that have been playing for years or go to tournaments every week. So just focus on what you enjoy and what you find fun. This is we're talking tiny percentile points here on where we're putting these guys. And so ultimately, actually, fuck that, right? Build the army that you find enjoyable.
Slam Sector has said it best. Rules change, cool models are forever.
And I couldn't agree more. Talking about cool models, I think these are really cool models. Kylo has requested that we go to Custodes next. So
they're boring. Move on.
Skipping out the order.
No, we don't like Custodes.
So Custodes in the D tier.
So I think Custodes are going to either be A tier or B tier. And the reason I don't think they're going to quite be A tier is simply because I think the meta is going to be really hostile to him. We're going into it's going to be lots of vehicles. We know there's going to be loads of vehicles. Although I caveat that with the troop version of the Custodes, so Wardens and alike, go really nicely into Star Shatter.
Wardens are just never not good. Like, Wardens are literally, oh, you want to play a single phase army? Well, fuck you. Like, and to be fair, that's a lot of Custodes, because also the Dreads now, also, like, the Venerable Dreads have get back up after death, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm a single phase army, I lose, thanks. It's just so frustrating. So I feel like Custodes is literally, oh, they're S tier against single phase armies, and they're, like, BC for against everyone else. It's just all right.
I just want to go back to the chat as well. So Mackie D3 has put Custodes are B for boring,
and then Slam put D for deboring.
So on that one, guys, thanks for bullying my favourite faction.
I mean, we do it to each of us. I'm sure it's coming for me later.
It's not.
It already is because you're going to go last.
So I think Necrons are going
Just
to
put them at the top.
Oh, we jump because hang on, because I'm not sure Custodes are B yet. I'm.
Wait, where do you think A?
No,
I don't think they're lower than B.
I'm ignoring you now, Toby. I put Necrons right up in S tier. The reason I'm moving us on because we don't want to spend all night talking about where.
Wait, you don't?
Well,
why? I thought that was the point. Oh, we're here until 5 in the morning.
Chief needs to go to bed. I've got to get up.
He's already in bed. I don't even know where. Oh, he is. He's actually in the box down there in bed.
Oh, he's in the box. Get in the box, Chief. So we're putting Necrons up to S tier. And the reason I think they belong in S tier is because Star Shatter is got everything you could ever want out of the detachment.
Except for fallback and charge, because everyone thinks that it has it, but it doesn't really. It's false. It fakes that it has it.
Yeah.
So Star Shatter, I genuinely, this is my take for the only one that I feel confident in of everything I'm going to say this evening. Star Shatter is going to be the bridesmaid, never the bride situation. Like I don't think we're going to see it winning loads of tournaments. I think we're going to see it getting close a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be everyone that is trying to win a tournament has a way of dealing with Star Shatter, and one of them will do it on that path to victory. Yeah. So I just think that we're going to see a lot of very great results for Star Shatter. I just don't think we're going to see a lot of tournament wins.
100%. I think the raw power of Star Shatter is undeniable. It's extremely good. It can play the mission very efficiently. It is just super good. But equally, I think there are some way, like we've already had, because everyone knows how good it is. They've already spent a lot of time hypothesizing how they will beat it, or plan, or like actually doing games against it, so they know how they will beat it. So I think, yeah, as Sam says, it will be the bridesmaids so often, but I think unless actually no, I really can't see it really becoming like the dominant, like I'm going to win every tournament kind of list.
Okay, let's move on. So we haven't got any suggestions in chat in a minute.
There were some we missed earlier. There's Drukhari and Grey Knights still.
Okay, let's go to Grey Knights. I think Grey Knights are going straight up to A tier. I think they are super good. The new detachment they got in Grotmus, it just gives them infinite amount of rerolls, it feels like, and just death by chippy chip.
I wouldn't call it death by chippy chip if the version that I played against recently was the Dread Knight version, and that is not chippy chip. That is smack your face in, kill you. But it runs out, you kill all it. It's the classic thing of, oh, it kills me very quickly, but I also kill all of its scoring units very quickly, and then I win just on scoring. I think it's a brutal army with like the way it can do certain shenanigans with rerolls and things. Particularly Purgation Squad, the heavy squad, the indirect. Having full rerolls on indirect is so annoying to deal with, especially since strong. Most and it's like, oh, they only get indirect if they can see you, but they also deep strike units all the time. right?
Yeah.
So they're always going to get line of sight on where they need them. So it's such a nice like home field setup to then build the list on afterwards. It's like, okay, well, my home's safe and I'm in range of middle objectives just to clear them with strong shooting. What's the rest of the list? And
Yeah. Dread Knights.
I think there's the Dread Knight version and there's other versions as far as I'm aware.
So we're all in agreement then.
Oh god, they're in A. They're not in A.
All right. Let's move on then. So the next one was Drukhari?
Yeah.
Drukhari. Oh, Drukhari. Drukhari is a pilot army. It's one of the most complicated armies to play in the game, I think, personally, because they do die to a breeze.
It's one of the more punishing armies when you make a mistake, right? Like, it's not forgiving. Like,
I think because of that, though, do we honestly see them above C or B?
I honestly see them in D for this meta because I think they're in such a tough spot.
I can't go
then you remember there is a lot of haywire, and if we do go into a very vehicle-heavy meta, then they should be able to pull out some nice lists for that. I think early on they're going to have a really harsh time, and then I think someone's going to figure something out, or a couple of people will figure some stuff out, and there'll be some resurgence. But I think that it's pretty brutal for them.
Yeah.
I don't think D tier. I think D tier we need to leave right at the bottom. They're not Imperial Knights level D tier.
D is like, you're just not going to have a good time. I think is basically. I think there's still potential there for Drukhari.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's more the definition of what's in what tier.
I guess we never really defined it, but
yeah, my whole thing, D tier is it could still it's it could go and win an RTT. It could go and do very well at a super major, but like you're not going to see multiple Drukhari pilots in a top. Like you're never going to look at a tournament and go, oh, there's 3 Drukhari. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Like you would
be surprised.
Sky Shitter or whatever it was called. Sky Stinky Boys were like Splinter. That's the one. When there was, when they were as consistently powerful as they were, and you'd see multiple
4-on-1s.
You sound really fond of this, Toby.
yeah, love it.
In fairness, I enjoyed it because
they were just they were very good at move blocking me, so it was upsetting. But I think they've still got play. The right pilot will be able to put up results with them. But if I was a newer player to tournaments, I wouldn't want to be a Drukhari player right now. I think it's quite hostile, and there won't be much room to make those errors.
I think C's a good spot.
Yeah.
So the next one we've got in there, is Imperial Knights. I'm again torn between C and B, but I don't think I think
I'm sat in C with them. I don't know. I just Knights just don't excite me in any way, shape, or form. Like they just seem it's a stat check, and everyone's planning on, because there is a vehicle heavy meta. Everyone is going to be planning for how to kill tough vehicles, so they just sort of set up to fail with that. It's like, oh, I'm a stat check army, and everyone's already planning to beat that stat check.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. It's not ideal, is it?
No.
I think they are gonna suffer a little bit. But the one that I think we could all agree with here is, and I'm just going to grab this and make an executive decision. We've been asked for in the chat, vanilla Marines.
Okay.
I would, if it wasn't so many vanilla Marine players, I'd be in here.
Well, I think we put them there because I think in the same way that Guard are there, yes, their win rate might not necessarily show themselves as there, but they will be winning tournaments. I think they will have the most tournament wins in the next couple of weeks. I think we'll see. I think there's a good chance they win Nottingham. There's a good chance they win LVO. I think there's enough flexibility there that they're not easy to plan against. You can plan against this popular Space Marine list, but then somebody takes a slightly, or reasonably different one, because there's just so much variability, and that one just catches you off guard.
Yeah, the units that you can take that are either just extremely consistent and good at their job, or you can just go off the wall and it's still really good because it can just always have full rerolls to hit and +1 to wound. it's. I mean, we look at the amount of Space Marine players and look at the amount of high quality players on Space Marines right now, and it's probably one of the best, if not the best.
So we're just going to flip into the chat very briefly. So I asked Toby, what's next? Ryan Goodwin comes out and says, "World eating." No, actually, I mean sisters. So
not as if even if he had said it, I wasn't going to get it, was I? So
no.
Because of that, I'm going to go to Ben Hammond's comment, and we're going to go for Blood Angels.
Oh, I mean,
now are we counting the vanilla Space Marine Blood Angels, or are we just saying Blood Angels? Because I think we don't. Are we counting vanilla Space Marine Blood Angels as Blood Angels?
Well,
I wouldn't put them above vanilla as well. I would put them below. I think they're A.
Well, if it's vanilla, like I do think they're S, because I think it's probably the best way to play.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I prefer the Gulliman.
I don't. I mean, I just think that my best wins have come from being able to prison people, and that Blood Angels list is so good at doing that. And like you just go, okay, you've got a Catan. I'm going to use these assault intercessors and wound them on 4s and reroll.
But the thing is, I think what we've got to bear in mind here, actually, we put Dark Angels and Black Templars lower because we based it off of their actual units. Even with Blood Angel units, they're still A tier. So I think, because I think they're
I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't say so.
Death Company are well good.
Death Company suck now. Like they've been dropped. They've been dropped completely. Yeah, like you don't see them in the blood. Sangard are the ones that you'll see if someone is taking Blood Angels units. You'll see Sangard, and you might see the Sanguinor. Sanguinor's
that was a shame. Sanguinor has some what? I thought there was was the new Blood Angels attachment had some interesting rules for Sanguinor that he could uppy downy and stuff. That was I don't know if that's going to actually have any play, but it was just an interesting thing that I remember reading.
I think unfortunately it's probably not better than Liberator. I think
nothing. This is something that I'll come on to later. But with that sort of army rule, it's just so good.
Yeah, and I think Blood Angel. If you are playing actual Blood Angel units, I think you will see them in B tier. I don't think they're better than Dark Angels. I don't think they're better than Custodes.
I think they sit in there. I think melee armies will be a surprise one because I think they're going to be less popular. But I think if we're ignoring the vanilla Liberator, they sit in B. I think it's high B. In fairness, I would put them next to Dark Angels. But yeah, I think that's accurate. And if you that Liberator Assault army is just nasty. It's just mean, and that should be up in S. But I consider that part of vanilla.
If we say that's vanilla, then and I think we should say that's vanilla.
Yeah, because it is literally that's what they're doing, right? Like, it's cheeky detachment messing around with, but yeah.
If anything, it's flesh terrors.
So I had a request from the chat. I just want to say hello, X Hobbies. Thank you for joining us tonight. And he's asked if the Deathwatch have been done yet, and the Deathwatch haven't been done yet. So let's do Deathwatch next.
This is tough.
I have no idea.
They're not down there. No. So obviously we've just seen Jack Tight win Saffron Slam with them, and I think there's some really interesting arguments for them. But I also don't think it's overly good to the meta. I would put them right at the bottom of B.
Yeah,
they're not.
I feel like they're going to be in sort of B's area. Like it's just a thing of like all Space Marines now just feel like a opportunity cost loss. Like they're not vanilla. Is it worth it? Probably not.
That's how I always feel when I start with a Dark Angels list. I do always go, would this be better as vanilla? And that is tough because that unfortunately it's kind of gone full circle of the reason that
everyone was just throwing random characters in.
Exactly, yeah. But equally, I think that's in some ways kind of nice, and I think that's easier to balance than the other way.
I think there'll be some
points.
Yeah, good. Yeah, they just need to tweak it again. And this is like I don't think any of us here are like complaining about balance or anything like that. It's not really our style anyway, but I think the Vanilla Marines, all of this, like we've got a nice spread at the moment. I think all of this is really close on win rates.
Oh yeah.
Like I think I think this meta is going to be different from what we've had previously, and really interesting and quite balanced. I don't think we're going to have anyone just dominating.
So do you know? So there's been a request for Tau. I think Tau might struggle in this meta.
Yeah, I really liked the retaliation cadre, and they got hurt hard by they sort of caught strays on the 3-inch deep strike because their ability sort of really needed that 3-inch being within 6. It really helped them. I think that a lot of the stuff I think they're going to struggle into a lot of the armies without for that particular detachment. I don't know what their Grotmus detachment was. I think I missed that one.
I think not very good.
It
was Vespid and Kroot. So they give
never mind then.
I
remember it now.
there was play. There was interesting play to it, but I don't think it's
one of those things, where it's like, oh, this could be fun interaction, but it's not going to be worth playing multiple games just to maybe get that interaction a couple of times, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think you're looking at C tier again. I think they're similar to that Drukhari conversation. They feel fine, and in the right hands they'll be good, but I still think that this is you need something decent in combat in 10th, and they just don't have anything. It really sucks.
So let's go on to. I'm going to do a pick because chat hasn't said anything. Actually, no, we did have a sisters request, didn't we? Let's go to sisters. Yes.
I think sisters sit in C.
Yeah,
I not rolling dice is always amazing mechanic, but they really took that hit hard, and people were already jumping ship before the hit. And this hit, I think it was needed because I thought the way they played the game was bad, but I think there needs to be some tuning back in other aspects of the faction. I think that Miracle Dice was stupid, getting 20 to 30 every game, silly, getting loads of free 6s, absolutely insane. But now they don't have that. They feel overcosted.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they need another slate just to help them out, because there needed to be a moment where, because that codex was so busted, the rules team probably needed a moment to breathe on them and just kind of make them a little bit poorer than they probably should be, and then let everything kind of readjust, reassess, have a little bit more time to test them out, because as Sam says, that ability to just go, this is a 6 now, it's so good that you need to really test to see where they can abuse that. And I think next slate, I think they'll be in a really nice spot, not a broken spot, but just a solid position. But for now, I think they are just they're one of the lower rankers.
So one of the next ones we've had an ask from our American friend Slam Sector. He has asked for the Votan. Where do we think the Votan are going to go?
I really like Votan. I think they're going to be A tier. And the reason for that is I think Thunderkin are bullshit because 2-up anti-vehicle in a vehicle meta is silly. Ignore modifiers is silly.
Don't they have Deep Strike as well?
No, they only Strap Reserve.
Oh, Strap Reserve, is that right?
Yeah.
But
I think...
And they're cheap. They're not exactly expensive, are they?
No, they are still quite cheap. And you can quite easily get 18 in there. I think we've moved on.
So Toby has gone in the best possible position.
Oh my god.
And I'm very sorry. This is what we get for when we do live with Toby. He lives out in the sticks. He's got some prehistoric. So
it's Wi-Fi, temporary. Right, I'll finish what Toby was saying.
Are you going to finish his monologue? Number 7.
So Votan. Oh, he's back. I think that they have a great position because also I think a lot of these factions are going to have nice centerpieces, which they just are going to get they're going to immediately have judgment on and just be able to do shenanigans with that. I think it's really hard to stop them getting that extra CP and everything like that. So have
Jaegers been mentioned?
We have not mentioned Jaegers, no.
Cool.
Which are also great counterpiece to a lot of armies at the moment as well. I think Votan are in a nice position. I think they've got some potentially bad matchups, but I think they've got a lot of good ones into the stuff that we've said are good.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we go on to
Although
what,
guard is apparently a bad matchup for them, so that could be
So,
interesting.
I don't think Toby's sound is coming through because I can't
Oh,
hear him.
you can't hear him. I can hear him. I don't know if it's coming through to the. If you can't hear him, it probably isn't coming through to the stream. Can people in the chat tell us if you can hear Toby? Yep. Oh, chat can hear him.
Toby.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it was just me that couldn't hear him. That's fine. It's because actually I just checked and I had you muted.
Sensible.
Okay. I mean,
let's move.
Useful when we're not streaming, but not.
Let's
Look, a silent Toby is a lovely Toby, apparently, according to Paul. So
Toby hasn't paid his internet bill.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting some Toby bullying on stream.
Okay, we're gonna let that carry on in the chat, and I'm gonna move on to the next one. Look, we did Knights. I think we should go to their chaotic brothers and sisters, and I think these guys belong in solid. Gonna go in B. I think they're solid B as well, actually.
You think they're a whole tier above their counterparts?
Yeah, because it's not. They don't take the big Knights, do you?
They do now, yeah.
Well, you can still take the War Dog spam, but I think they still have the same issue. I don't know. It's I like the War Dogs. I just think there's too much that can kill 4 War Dogs in a turn, and then you just lose.
Yeah, I think so. I think you look at Star Shatter.
They do hit a lot harder in combat, and let's give it to them as well. Like, they're still high OEC. They are better than their Imperial Knight cohort.
They're better than Imperial Knights, but they're just, the thing is they're not beast like. So if we look at Necrons and how powerful they are, Necrons and Vanilla Marines are really good at shooting. What they're less good at is dealing with high pressure speed armies. Knights are bad against both of those armies because they can't handle high pressure combat armies that can deal with them reasonably efficiently. Your Deathwing Knights, your Custodes, that kind of thing. And they can't handle that much in terms of DDAs because at some point they start failing 5-ups, 4-ups, or 5-ups.
They are behind everybody else that is good into them. I mean, Sisters.
Yeah, I mean, Sisters lost. I mean, yeah, I'm almost tempted to say Sisters should be lower. I think Chaos Knights are fine. Like, once again, it's a stat check. I think it is very much you turn up to the game and you know how that game's going to go with Knights. They do, the one thing that the War Dog spam does have is that pressure, right? If they go first, they can just turn on the pressure and just run their entire army into the middle of the board. And if you don't have an army that can deal with that, it can be very scary and like, you can almost get like decision paralysis of seeing all of the knights in front of you as well. So there is something there which I think is better than the Imperial Knight version. I'm okay with putting it in B. I don't think it gets any higher than what it is there.
So we're coming towards the end, folks. We've got 7 more to go. We'll kind of go through a couple of these ones that we think are going to be nice and easy to play. So I think Space Wolves. We'll do Space Wolves next. I think they're going to be either top.
I think they sit with their the Dark Angels, Blood Angel counterparts.
Yeah, it's all around there.
They've still got a nice jail. I think they still do a lot of what they do, but once again,
Stormlance took a big old nerf though. The Wolves went up massively, so I think we're going to see more champions. But I think they'd actually moved away from that to more champions of Russ anyway. Right. And if you look at like the currently going into this meta, the top Astartes, it's mostly Space Wolves. So that I think is a good indicator of how they'll be, and also they prey upon Marines extremely efficiently.
Yeah. Fair play. Good comment.
Yeah.
What about Thousand Suns, folks? They've had some interesting changes. They're still a bit of a finesse army. If played well, they're amazing. If played poorly, they really suffer. So,
I would, mainly because I always rate Thousand Suns highly because I still don't think they've really changed. I would put them in A. But
really,
yeah, but that's right. Bear with me. We have, a lot of armies that have got big things that are tough to kill. If we're talking about Necrons, for example, you're going to have lots of vehicles that are centipedes. They're just going to get doom bolted. Like that's and Magnus picking stuff up, right? Like, there's a lot of finesse there. I think we're still talking about it will require very good pilots, but I think that they still have potential. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them still doing well. Now, I think if they started doing too well, they'll get crushed because everyone will start swapping to stuff that's good against them. But I don't, countering them. But I think people are going to sleep on them and then get surprised in games against them.
I agree. I think we could agree. Look, bottom of A is probably good because they'll do well.
They're better than Space Wolves and like Blood Angels and Dark Angels, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they do better than Custodes.
What makes you think that, because I think the problem is they struggle under high pressure, and I think we're about to go into a high pressure meta, like that early high pressure that you're going to take those punches really early, and you need to be able to deny primary quickly, and that's where Thousand Suns fall down.
I mean, you're right; they do fall down in that. I just disagree that we're going to be in a high pressure meta like that. I think we're going to be in a meta of I'm just going to put something on that objective and try and shoot to you and keep your lines covered, and we're going to be into like cagey shoot offs, and I think they thrive in that area.
If it's cagey shoot off, yeah, definitely. I can see them having a stronger position.
I mean, there's definitely some armies in here that are that high pressure, but I think there's plenty that aren't as well. So I don't know.
So let's because we could talk about this all night. I think with the Thousand Suns, because they're a bit of they do split decisions. They split kind of opinions.
They split very hard on how skillful the player is with them.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a difficult one to really place. So let's move on to something a bit easier. And I actually think we should go on to Death Guard. Now, I think Death Guard are good, but how good are they? Are they above the Marines in B? I think they're B tier. I don't think they're A tier.
Yeah, no, they're middle B, I think.
I think they are happily not in D for Death Guard tier anymore and just sit nicely in the middle.
Yeah. I think we can.
I think they're one of the more well-rounded armies at this point as well.
They are.
I feel like they're just consistent.
They have a good everything, don't they? They're just good at everything.
Feels like they'll be a solid 50% win rate.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Sam, as well, just for you?
You're not going to do it.
I'm going to bring World Eaters in third from last, rather than second from last. So we're going to go on to Toby's favourite army.
Eldari?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
You love Eldari. Remember your first ever GT, mate?
I fucking hate Eldari.
I
still hate Eldari. They've been nerfed to shit, but I still hate them. I think they're going to be in middle of C tier until their book comes out, and then I think that will help.
I think their books. I think their book's going to come out and it's going to shoot them up like crazy. Something there's going to be some janky bullshit in there that everyone's going to be upset about. That it's just going to be very Eldar. But until then, yeah, I think they comfortably sit down there. They're if I come across an Eldar army, I'm just not scared of it anymore. No. I'm used to playing it when it was at its peak, and it's just not that anymore, and it's hopefully never going to be that again. So I think there is some interesting stuff that can be done there. I'm not saying that you shouldn't run Eldar lists. I think anything here can win you tournaments if you just play better than everyone. Eldar are in a tough spot at the moment, but only for a short period of time.
So, Sam, are you ready?
Yeah. Do you want my opinion, or are you guys just going to decide where it goes and see if I agree?
No, me and Toby, we're going to have a moment where we're just going to let you decide. This is your army. You love them dearly, and you can just you can decide where
they're not there. Thankfully, that's the biggest thing. So, World Eaters, I think, are a weird one because I mean, first of all, you've got a lot of people talking about the new Grotmus detachment. I think they've done a really good job of releasing a decently balanced, interesting detachment to play. It's not as good as the Index. That's just what we're talking about, like vanilla Marines and other Marines. It is just that thing of oh, this is a cool list I could write, or I could just write a better one with Index. It just feels like that, and so there's a lot of people experimenting at the moment, and maybe I'll be proved wrong and something cool will come out of it, but at the moment I don't see it. So if we're looking back at basically zero changes for World Eaters, because the balanced data slate did nothing to them other than a tiny interaction with a Demon Prince that only one person Josie was taking. Yeah, basically, I would put them right in the middle of the pack. I think they have some really good play into some of the scary armies, but also some really bad play into some of the not scary armies. So it's a weird balance for what it is. They're very spiky, which is why they love to be Pairs Princess, right? Like there's stuff that just ruins them, and then there's stuff that they ruin, and you just want to get them in the right matchups. I think the Star Shatter variants, like especially a couple of them, are very, very good for World Eaters in comparison to a lot of stuff, because I think they just won't be able to deal with the pressure. Like I say, they don't really have a fallback and do anything as much as they think they do. So yeah, I think that might really help World Eaters prop up, because there's going to be a lot of Star Shatter, and I think it'll be good for them. But yeah,
I think that's a great
middle of the pack.
So Toby, this is your one now, mate. This is something I've been enjoying your videos you've been doing. If you haven't caught Toby's latest video on Creations of Bile, this is his second army he's been going into. He obviously is traditionally a Chaos player, so
as in he's just chaotic.
Yeah, just don't know my rules. I just rely on my opponent knowing all my rules for me. Like, can I do that?
True, if we're playing.
Where are they going, Toby? How are you feeling about them?
So I was really hot on them, and then they've not really got much of a share in knots, which really surprised me. I think that they attack the meta in a really interesting and good way, because they are just consistently good. Like every single unit like punches up. And they're cheap
so
as
much
shit.
stuff.
They do
so much stuff. Like what the hell?
Does something good. And I
Axe
really
continues to be amazing, because it just like, oh, I just get to choose to have sustained hits, thanks.
Or lethal hits. Like the fact that I can just be like, I have 1 billion attacks with Chosen, and just go, I guess I'll give them lethals because they're winning on 6s anyway. So let's just roll 6s. I'm gutted, because I don't think. You know what? Yeah, bottom of A.
See, I was going to put them higher up. I honestly think that they're near the top of A. I think I look at everything in A and I'm going, maybe this, maybe I would rejig some of the stuff in A, but I think they're.
I think they're middle.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've had a bit of a crisis of faith because of the lack of presence.
But lack of that just means they're being slept on, right? Like that's I mean, we're and maybe in next week when we see the LVO stats, we'll go, oh look, there's like 10% of them are playing Creations of Bile or some other version. Because I mean, Raiders is still good.
Oh, Raiders is brilliant.
It's like Creations of Bile has taken the spotlight a bit, but the Raiders are very nice.
Yeah, there's multiple good builds for CSM, but and I think the thing that's holding them back right now is they're actually just a really boring army to play. Like as a pilot,
so many people say this. It's really funny to me. It is such an interesting army to look at for me. Like as in, I haven't actually played 10th edition CSM. I played them in 9th, but it's like. It's so weird to me when people I've had most people swap to CSM and go, yeah, I did well at that tournament, but bloody hell, I was bored. Like, just like, which
literally, like you get out a Rhino, you kill what's on an objective, or you out OC it, you stop their primary, you have something else go do your secondaries for you. They then kill your unit, you then jump out, you kill their unit, and it's literally just this war of attrition.
This trade game,
exactly, and there is no finesse to it. Like when I was playing Renegades, I was just screaming out for like a reactive move or something like that, and I have the post-combat reactive move. I got to do it once for like some value, and it was awesome, but it was also like it was just so boring, and I was like
going through the motions.
Yeah, it was like they are, and I do think that might be why we see them a little bit less. And I think that's why we saw Sisters start to go down, because it was boring. Like it got boring even if it was good. I think CSM are the same. They are
absolutely mind-numbing, and like having to play that over a full weekend. I enjoyed it at Coventry because I was learning an army, and it was a really fun environment in terms of the people that I was playing as well. It was a good laugh, but yeah, it wasn't. They're not overly interesting. Well, I will still play them, and I might be playing them at teams, but like they are a bit like a cool. I'm going to do this, and you will not be able to answer it.
Okay, I think we can leave them there in the middle of it.
I think there's a good spot. I think they will be really good. Like I think they're just a bit slept on at the moment. I think probably because they're not the most interesting. There's so much interesting stuff that's just happened with the Grotmaster stuff and everything.
So I think that the last army we've left, and I think they probably had one of the most interesting things because they actually got 4 detachments.
Getting a codex. So demons. Now, demons is actually the only army this isn't entirely true fact because I did a couple of games as Blood Angels, but it was before that. It was the only other army in 10th that I've actually played. It was demons. So, and I love. I mean, World Eaters, Khorne demons. The Khorne demon detachment's really interesting. It is not the best one, apparently. I think there's a meta where it is. I think the 3 out of 4 of those detachments are really interesting, and the index detachment is still great. I think you need to remove it from D and put it right up to the top. I think it sits in S.
Really?
Yeah, I think there is so much flexibility there that for them to adapt into whatever the meta exactly turns out to be, which we're not entirely sure yet. I think, even though I don't fully agree that the Slaanesh one is all it's cracked up to be, because I still can't see it. I don't know. I'd need to play against it, play with it, or something like that. But like, the Tzeentch one has some crazy stuff that you can pull. I mean, you can literally uppy downy from within combat. Like, what? The Khorne one, you get a blood surge move when your opponent moves near you, including reactive moves, including like shoot and scoot moves. Like, it is just, oh, you want to take an objective off me? No. And then, oh, you want to shoot me off the objective? Well, you were stood here earlier, so I've already stuck the objective. It's just, there's and like I say, everyone is raving about the Slaanesh one, and there's a lot of shenanigans in that are just, one of my favorite moves to pull in 10th edition is charging 2 units into 1 unit, killing it with the first unit, and then moving that second unit into another unit and hitting them. Their ability to get the full rerolls works with that, in the sense of you fight first with the first unit, you set the second unit to just get rerolls, and then on its turn it piles in and attacks. It doesn't matter that it doesn't have the fight first anymore, which is a really good way to use that ability. I think it's got a lot of play into everything at the top as well, at least one of the lists.
I think it's a really good point, Sam. You've made a really strong argument. It has got a lot of flexibility. It has got a lot of potential to just kind of mold itself into what the current meta is. And I think this is what's fun about doing a tier list, is that this is just us guessing at this point. We have no idea what's going to happen. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask everybody who's been watching tonight is take a photo of what we've done. Take a screenshot. Toby, get your phone. Take a photo. And we'll come back to this in a few weeks' time after NOTS, after LVO, and we'll have a look and see just maybe how close to it we were.
When Imperial agents win LVO and
Liam VSL on agents takes LVO. Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah. Well, and on that bombshell, folks, I think it's time that we, as a Black Crow team, we say goodnight to everybody. I just want to say a massive thank you for everybody who joined us this evening. We really appreciate all the love. We've really enjoyed the interaction. We just want to say thank you to everyone that's been involved with it. I've been Arron from Black Crow. I've got Toby and Sam with me tonight.
Heyo.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Catch you all later.